All right, I think we're good to go. You guys ready to
I
start?
think so. Yeah.
I'm ready to start. Let's do this thing.
Let's fucking start. That's right. In the first 30 seconds, because I'm a madman. Hello and welcome to Insanity. I was gonna start, but now I see you playing with the damn.
I made a balloon animal. I made a little balloon wiener dog with a big old tail. Pretty cute.
How am I supposed to start our intro?
Sorry.
After that.
Fuck. He's tough.
Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite. How you doing, Green?
I'm doing fantastic. I had the whole week off of work. So
Did you?
yeah.
Do you go back
funny.
tomorrow? Do you go back tomorrow, Green?
I'd go back never. Surprisingly, I have not gotten any phone calls or anything like that. Like, hey, you know what this is about? Like, nah. So, but I'm doing good. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing fantastic. Nothing to complain about. Everything's going well. With us, most of the time. And he is turning old tomorrow, so I'm gonna start calling him the bearded and the wise,
The experienced.
and the decrepit.
Yes.
Revsfen, Padre, what's up?
Oh, not much. My balloon animal ended up going the way of Old Yeller, though. He is gone. I don't know how he didn't actually pop, but he has already deflated. Aside from that, I'm
Dang.
good. Now I'm sad, but I'm good. Didn't know what I'd had until he was gone.
You didn't need to pop the balloon animal.
I know. My kids are gonna be so pissed. They didn't even know I made it. I'll just walk out there with this, and be like, "Hey, I made you a balloon animal, then I popped it," and give it to him.
Now it's an earthworm.
Now it's an earthworm.
It was a dog, now it's an earthworm. Oh, guys, we have a great show lined up for you today. I am actually really excited. That sounded like sarcastic, but it wasn't. I wasn't trying to sound sarcastic.
It sounded pretty sarcastic.
Show for you guys today.
I've been doing a lot of reading lately and reading scripts, and like I kind of forgot how to talk. We do have a question of the week for you guys this week. Our question this week is, what are some of your gaming resolutions? Right, this is the first show of 2021. What are some of your gaming resolutions? Those things in the backlog, some toxic behaviors that you're not gonna, do anymore. I'm looking at you, all of Dead by Daylight players. Okay, you guys, can you stop your toxic bullshit?
I will say this: Dead by Daylight has become way less toxic than it used to be.
Oh yeah,
like I've been a shit talker about the toxicity in Dead by Daylight for a long time, but for some reason lately, it's like like when I play, for say, like if I go on like a 4-hour stream of playing it, I'll get like one toxic person, and I'll have several people show up to stream and just be like, "Hey, man, GG, I was the so and so that you didn't kill just now." Like, well, you didn't have to tell me I didn't kill you. I know, fucker. But
Hey, fucker.
hey, fucker.
Yeah, and then like maybe if you're in Warzone, are you gonna resolve to stop using the DMR so Green can stop crying about it?
Excuse me? I would rather you stop camping than use the DMR.
So let us know in the chat what some of your gaming resolutions are, or in the YouTube comments, or you guys can tweet at us. It's
At me, bro. At me.
At him. If you guys miss any part of the show, you guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. And yeah, let's just get into the show here. You guys
Right, the meat and potatoes of this thing. Let's go.
Meat and potatoes.
Potatoes.
Apex Fight Night. I haven't had my hands on it yet, but Rev, you have. Tell us about it.
Well, okay, so I'm going to give like a brief rundown of what I've discovered on it so far, and then I will discuss that more length probably next week, just because it's like, we'll have more time to actually process what's going on, and maybe I can actually get some people to play together instead of getting random. I've been getting matched up with like the worst randos. people who are like diving on the other end of freaking of the map, like launching solo and like, hey, no, you go ahead and go over to Oasis. I'm gonna go over here to Orbital Cannon. And I'm like, hey, fucker. But I will say this. I'm a big fan of the what is it called? I think it's called Takeover, where like as soon as the game starts, there are care packages like in clusters around the map. And they have automatic blue shields and automatic like blue fully kitted weapons. And then as the match progresses, you'll see purple ones drop. Haven't been able to make it far enough to see if anything goes beyond that because teammates and my own lack of skill. Let's not forget that. But like they do like they'll end up throwing in clusters of purple care packages, which is kind of cool. So like whenever you drop, you know, you can get a charge. Like most of the snipers you get out of them, I think actually all of them that you get out of them are charge rifles that have a scope and a stock on them or something. And then whenever the purple ones drop, you can get a triple take that has, you know, purple attachments on it. It's pretty cool. I really actually do like that. I have a lot of fun with that. But the fight night thing itself, of course, is kind of the ring, you know, the boxing thing that's going down. I've found some frustration in that because people have already found ways to cheese by like jumping in and out of the ring as fast as they can. Because if you're in the ring, nobody outside the ring can shoot you, and nobody inside the ring can use guns or abilities. Um, and so that's kind of the fact that people have kind of started cheesing by jumping in and out, in and out. I think there should be like a delay. Like you can't jump in and out, in and out. You jump in, you have to wait a couple seconds before you can get out and vice versa because otherwise it's kind of stupid. But there's a lot of cool loot in there. So like if you drop in the ring first, there's like loot boxes, like cargo bots all over the place. And you know, you punch those, get all the attachments out, and of course, if assuming you win the fight, you know, because it'll turn. I mean, it's a complete battle royal. You land in there, everybody just starts throwing hands. It's not like a system. It's just get in there, start throwing hands, and whoever makes that alive gets to take all that loot with them. But that being said, you could do what I did one round that worked really well. Loot around it because it's like there's a building that encompasses the ring, and there's loot in that. And you can just wait for them to get out of the ring, and as soon as they step out, you can start popping them. But that's kind of shitty, but it's fun. Um, so in theory, I really like what I saw from both that and the loot drop thing. I've just been having a bad time because I keep getting matched up with people who are doing dumb things. Like I got knocked and I got finished off, and instead of and my teammate finished the other squad. Like there was only one member of their squad left, and we got the squad wipe. Instead of grabbing my banner and going over to the respawn beacon right next to the waterfall because we were right there anyways, my teammate just jumps off the edge of the map, ends the game. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Green, right? Um, so yeah, dude, that's like what I've been having today. So I'm hoping maybe I can get a couple of people to maybe play later or something. Fuck, I don't know, but that was getting upsetting. Aside from that, I like the loot drops because it does show them on the map. Like you pull up the map before you jump out of the drop ship, and you'll see these little blue circles, and that's where these concentrations of uh care packages are. And then it does the same thing whenever a cluster of purple ones is getting ready to drop. It'll show on the mini map. But it's like I said, in essence, a lot of cool loot stuff going on. A lot of cool loot stuff, especially if you like just looting, like me. Um, but yeah, the teammate aspect of it, I've been getting just absolutely bent over and railed like Jenna Jameson, my guy. I'm sorry, I'm just so frustrated.
Damn, that was quite the analogy right there.
Let it out.
Let it out.
Boo boo.
No. We're gonna reanalyze that.
Let it in.
More like Piper Perry is how bad I'm getting railed. Y'all have seen the meme with the couch and the 5 dudes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who you're
That's
like. I had no idea who you're referring to until you like described it.
yeah.
So
Is
I've
Kenna
seen the
watching
video.
right now? Is that why he's
no, I had no
I
idea who
saw
that
the
guy
glint in
was.
your eye. You knew exactly what I was talking about. As soon as I said Piper, you knew where I was going. I didn't even need to finish the name.
if my mom is watching, then I have no idea who that is.
I don't I legitimately don't know who that is. I know the meme. It's hilarious. I don't know who that is.
Sure.
Would you like me to discuss like the porn stars that I know? Is that what you're going for?
Do you,
First off, I don't think we have enough time.
I don't think we have enough time. No.
I was gonna say, yeah. Can I get a list alphabetically?
Yeah, I'll send it to you in a PDF.
I have to send it over in a Google Drive because he couldn't get it sent over in a full email. It's too large of a file.
It's too large of a file.
Same. Anyways, to boil it down, yeah. Great in theory for me. Right now, not great in practice just because I would like to try it out with an actual squad. See what I can do.
Gotcha. Green, have you had your hands on it yet at all?
I have not. I haven't gotten to play it. I haven't played much Apex this week, or last week. But I'll probably get my hands on it, sometime this week, probably Thursday or Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to it sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still I'm super out of practice. We played last week, but
Yeah, that's right. Last week is the last time I played it
so
with you.
I'll yeah. So I'm super out of practice. I'll have to pick it up. I'll have to pick this update up and really try some shit out. Real quick question for you guys, just because I'm curious. Are you guys still running Apex on Origin, or are you guys running it on Steam?
Steam.
I'm on Origin still. I don't feel the need to uninstall it and then reinstall it with Steam.
So yeah, I'm running it on Steam because I uninstalled Origin months ago. Like I stopped playing Apex because I couldn't I didn't like the Origin launcher and how it kept auto launching even though I turned it off for auto launching. So I was like, dude, I'm not dealing with this every time I turn on my computer. So I uninstalled Origin, and then when I heard it was coming to Steam, I was like, all right, fuck it, we're going all in again.
Dope. Yeah, I was kind of curious if there was any real point to swapping over other than just having a better friends list experience.
If you're actually, I would say this is possibly my personal opinion because I think maybe Pinata still runs it on Origin. I'm not sure because he still had the Origin launcher. But there are like issues with your friends list and the club and stuff that I see happening on Steam that I don't hear about people having problems with on Origin, like finding friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I mean, even in that aspect, still having it on Origin would be better because honestly, I think regardless, you could still add, whoever from Origin, even if they're on Steam. So it's just as easy to keep it on Origin if you already have it there.
Yeah. Which I think that was an issue we were having with Quan last week. Was he had it on Steam, then he had to install it on Origin again because we just couldn't get him into the game proper. Okay.
Yeah, I've had friends that I've been trying to add, like I would try to add them, and I'd type in their name and nothing would come up. But then like Pinata was able to add them almost immediately after. I think he's still running Origin.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. That was just a random thought I had about it. Is there anything else that we want to talk about with Apex Fight Night?
Not yet. I would like to revisit this next week more in depth.
Yeah.
With more opinions on it as well. I just felt that with it being released today, it would be at least worth touching up on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can move on then to probably what's going to be our biggest story of the week.
Big boy.
What's that?
Big boy.
Big boy. This is hefty. This is real hefty. And of course, it's 2021, so we have to talk about things that we talked about in 2020, right? Okay, so we all know that the UK for the last year and a half, roughly, they've been having a real coming to terms with the loot box system, right? I mean, it's kind of started in like what was it, Denmark and a few other countries where they started kind of reevaluating, hey, do these really violate our gambling laws? The United States has had that to an extent. Of course, the entire industry has been kind of coming to terms with that business model. But we got a study this week from the United Kingdom, specifically from the Gambling Health Alliance, the GHA. And this study is suggesting that young people are not only regularly spending on loot boxes, but they're struggling to keep track on how much money they've spent purchasing them. So I'm going to kind of go over the study and some of the findings, and then I'm going to kind of go over my take on the study and some of my qualms. Sorry about that. So first, the study conducted had 611 participants. It had ages 13 to 16, and here are some of the findings. According to the UK Gambling Commission, 23%, and this was just a different study, but they included this in the abstract, I believe. According to the UK Gambling Commission, 23% of 11 to 16-year-olds said they paid money to open a loot box. So, you know, about 1 in 4 11 to 16-year-olds, minors, under UK law, said they opened loot boxes. The Gambling Health Alliance surveyed subjects between 13 to 24. The study spanned October 2020 to November 2020, and they found 34% of first-time spenders were when they were 13 or younger. 79% of the respondents said that the loot boxes negatively impacted their gaming experience, citing the amount they had spent to play, citing the amount they had to spend to play competitively. By the way, if I go too fast for you guys, let me know and I can go back over a point with you. They found that 31% of respondents said they struggled to keep track of how much they spent on loot boxes, and 33% said they didn't feel like they were in control of their spending. 22% reported spending over £100. When the respondents were asked how often they spent money, 11% said they spent money daily, 27% said they spent every month. 14% said they went into debt because of spending on loot boxes. 11% had their parents' credit card or borrowed money from friends or family. 9% said they borrowed money they couldn't repay, and 3 cases were found in the study that families were forced to remortgage their homes to cover costs. Those are a lot of the findings that this study found. Is there anything here that you guys want me to go back over, like double check or say again?
No, I think
No.
I think we're good here.
Okay, so obviously this is just a new study. The end result of this still has yet to be seen, but there was a call to action at the end of the short pages, calling for paid for loot boxes to be legally classified as gambling and banned in games for under 18s. So that's the findings, and I'm gonna kind of get into my take. First off, it is really, really interesting to read this, and seeing all of the problem gambling behaviors that we associate with deadbeat dads betting on the ponies, right? That's the behavior of the dude who's just like, one more scratch ticket, and I'll be in the money, right? Just one more. Let me just borrow $20. I swear I'll pay you back while I go hit the slots, right? That's the same kind of behavior that we're seeing in children.
Double it.
What's that?
Double it. I'll double it.
Yeah.
I'll triple it.
Yeah. Right? This is behavior that we're seeing in children. Right?
Yeah.
And I just want to point out that it further cements my point that technical legal argument on what constitutes gambling is an incredibly stupid and pedantic point for anyone in gaming to talk about, because the issue
it's completely irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding in the results.
Because the issue is never the legal definition. The issue was the behavior that it caused. You're trying to argue a legal definition about something, and there are people who have been on the show who are like, well, we can't say it causes gambling behaviors. I'm sorry, it does. This is what that study shows, is that it causes problem gambling behaviors that are prevalent in adults, and it doesn't matter if it's technically gambling or not, it causes the same behavior. I'm sorry, it's one of those annoying points that I'm like, it's a pedantic and shallow argument to try to make it about the legal definition of gambling. The only thing that affects is how it's regulated and legislated. That's it. It doesn't affect the behavior of people. And like I said, let me just kind of sum that up again. Loot boxes, if not legally defined as gambling, are psychologically gambling. That seems to be there's a history of science here that's being established.
Dopamine feedback loops.
Now, of course, again, and I'm kind of going back to some of the arguments that we've had and the discussions we've had on the show, parenting is a conversation that needs to occur here, but I kind of find it to be a red herring a little bit. Individual parenting and accountability doesn't really have a place when the issue seems to be endemic, right? If it's endemic among a group of individuals, then it's not an issue of individual responsibility.
Well,
That's
the
a
biggest
systemic
thing is
problem.
well, and the problem where the parenting thing comes in is that these parents are plugging their information into these kids' consoles, their payment information into these kids' consoles under the ages of 16, typically, right? Because like most people under the age of 16 don't have their own bank accounts yet because they don't even have jobs, and so these parents are plugging their payment information in there without any kind of safeguard to keep their kids out of that's where the parenting problem comes into place for me. Is like the kids don't are like and this comes from like lazy parenting in my opinion. That it's like parents just like turn their kids loose with a gaming console or let me rephrase or uneducated parenting because they don't understand that you plug that information in there. If you don't turn on like parental safeguards, they can just use it whenever they want. uh like for instance, I've talked about it before. Aiden Switch, you have to have a password to get into the online store on Aiden Switch, and then have to have the password again to utilize the actual purchase. Like you have to actually have the password twice on that. And I think that a lot of it comes from uneducation, like older parents plugging their information into this, or grandparents that are raising like their grandkids or something that are that aren't making sure that that stuff is safeguarded, or they don't care. And that's what makes that's where the parenting argument comes in my opinion, because if you safeguarded that stuff, then your kids couldn't just get in there and just start blowing money. Now once you get to the ages of like we'll say about 15 to 17, because some kids do get jobs at 15 and open up their own bank account, right? And so it's like from the ages of 15 to 17, absolutely, it's a completely different issue because they could have their own money that's not being regulated of any kind of in any way besides their own spending habits. And then that's where the parenting issue kind of falls off, and then personal accountability and habitual dopamine feedback loops like we've discussed come into play in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I still find it to be a bit of a red herring in the discussion though, because the problem is endemic, right? It if it's widespread enough, it's hard to say, well, it's up to the individual, right? Because if it's widespread enough problem, or wide enough spread of a problem, that gets past individual case by case basis.
Yeah, like by saying it's a red herring, it makes it sound like you're taking like the parental responsibility completely out of the equation. I'm not saying that it's solely the responsibility of the parents, but it needs to be part of the solution. Yeah, there needs to be things done on the game developers levels and stuff like that as well, but it's not just one or the other. It's a combination of all of these things. By placing the blame on just one specific aspect of it, I think is not the route to go. I think that there needs to be a combination of education amongst the parents plus, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of a lot of regulation, but I think when it starts affecting minors, that's when regulation
Yeah.
needs to start happening.
And I want to point out something that was said here in the chat. Willy nilly dilly. I'm pretty sure at the age group you said, still old enough to know they are spending money, kids are playing stupid for the study. I actually don't think so. I think a big part of the study was the fact that, and they actually mention it in the study, and I didn't mention it here in my overview because I was just going over the stats, but they do mention in the abstract that funds are not a one-for-one conversion in these games, right? Like Apex coins, or
Mhm.
what's the points for the Warzone? What do they call those?
COD points.
COD points, right? That's not a one for one. 1 penny equals 1 COD point, right? It's usually you pay $10 and you get 15,000 something, right?
And they
1500,
can
I
and they
think,
can go
something
on
like that.
sale for different amounts and stuff. Because like
Yeah,
on Smite gyms are like 50% off right
yeah.
now.
So I think to make a point here is that it's hard to track how much you spend when it's converted into something that's not one for one.
hmm
And I think,
especially when you can fluctuate so big by adding discount sales to it.
yeah. So I think the idea that, oh, the kids are playing stupid, they don't know how much they're spending, or they don't realize they're spending money, it's designed intentionally to deceive you into thinking you're not spending money. I mean, it's that, otherwise why don't they just do it for $1? Open up this pack for $1. Well, they know that they can get people to spend more by turning it into fun bucks, just like the beer tents at your local county fair, right? Like pay for, $10 get you 3 beer tickets.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
that's
hell, or
only
even, or sometimes even like to kind of a more vague extent, like even poker chips.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a single poker chip, yeah, maybe a $500 poker chip, but it's one poker chip. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have like a $500 denomination in currency, like typically circulating rather, but similar concept. It's like it's a representative of money without actually being the money itself, because you can't turn around and just like sell that back to them.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was a big part of the study, was that they were saying that children, or that these minors actually are not, or young people. It's not all, the study sample wasn't all minors.
mhm.
Under UK law, they did have up to 24 year olds. I do have some qualms I want to get to about this study, but Green, I'll give you a chance here to add on to anything that we've said before I get on to my critiques of the study.
I get both your points. Honestly, I miss when studios and developers and publishers had good faith. I get that they want to make money. I get that they need to keep their business afloat by making money. But I feel like there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. And loot boxes has always continuously been a bad way to do it. It's shown time and time again that it can cause addiction. It can cause crazy spending habits. Um, not every study is going to be perfect, but still, I miss when developers had good faith. Like OG Bungie, Bungie now it is probably one of the better devs for this, because they got rid of the whole uh pay money for loot boxes entirely out of Destiny 2. So like it's uh, simpler times.
Yeah,
Simpler
Rocket
times.
League did that too. Remember we had discussed that, where Rocket League traded out loot boxes for just blueprints,
Yeah.
where like you get the blueprints, you spend the credits to build the part based on the blueprint you get. Now you get the blueprints are earned randomly, but and it seems
Yeah.
like correct me if I'm wrong, but like part of the study seems like it's while it's still kind of like inadvertently does address gambling, part of it seems like it's like more addressing the idea that these games are kind of misrepresenting their currency and purposely deceiving their customer, or not their customer, like let me rephrase, they're kind of like purposely deceiving these younger people into not understanding how much money they're spending, a little bit more so than just like tricking them into gambling. It's like it kind of to the point of like, you can't just spend a dollar, you have to buy the currency in game instead of just buying the product. And so it's like part of the study, like part of the purpose of the study feels like it's aimed that way too, is to actually discuss the idea of this, like the way I like the way you worded it, fun bucks, like the whole idea that you're not spending real money because these are just in-game currencies, even though you spend real money to get them. And so it makes it kind of harder to understand. So it seems like there's like a dual focus on this whole study, on part gambling, part the deception of using, in-game currencies, but being
Yeah.
able to purchase them.
Yeah, there's a couple different focuses, or really
There are layers. It's like an
layers.
onion.
Yeah, well, because they also mentioned, not only that, but they talked specifically about FIFA, because FIFA is the poster child for this. About how the multiplayer gameplay, is negatively impacted and designed in such a way to cause you to want to play those to buy those loot boxes, right? The gameplay is so unbearable unless you pay into it on a product, which, by the way, you've already paid money for, right? If it's FIFA, you paid your $60 for, or whatever the MSRP is in the UK, and now it's made so unbearable for you that you kind of have to pay into it even more, right? That was something the study mentioned. But so here are my qualms with the study. And first off, I could only find the short paper. I couldn't find the nice long one. But 611 participants is a really small sample size for a country whose rough population of the study demo is about 10 million. Right? That's hardly scientific. I would like to see a larger study. I would like to see 10,000 participants minimum. And apparently, and this kind of goes to the idea that the kids are playing stupid. This was voluntary. This was a completely voluntary survey that was collected through SurveyMonkey and promoted through various forms of social media, including Reddit and email blasts. So all this information here was self-reported and volunteered, which again could lead to skewed results, but I also don't think that it was, oh, my teacher gave this to me, so I have to or my mom made me do this, so I'm going to play dumb. I don't think that's what's happening here. So those are my two big qualms, is that this was totally self-reported, volunteered, which can lead itself to a skewed result in a really small sample size. Again, 10 million, according to what I could find, between the ages of 10 and 24 in 2019, 10 million people in the UK between those ages, and you could only get 611 respondents.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that you said that kind of caught me off guard, like talk about qualms, was this whole the whole having to remortgage your homes. Was that in the study that was like all young people, or is that the one that had like 24s and such? I may have
That
these
had up
skewed,
to
but
that was the same. That was the GHA study, the one that the main study here. There was two studies, and there was, so the stats. Let me pull it up again real quick. So this one with the 611 participants were ages 11 to 16. I'm sorry, no. That was the UK Gambling Commission's, was ages 11 to 16. And then the GHA, the main one here, the one that found that those three participants who had to remortgage their homes, the ages were 13 to 24.
I don't know. I that one kind of, color me crazy for doubting something like a study, but like somebody that had good enough credit to have a mortgage on a home under the age of 24 to go ahead and have to remortgage, it seems like somebody who made a lot of good decisions blowing everything on a pretty obvious bad decision. Like in three of them, I don't know. It seems a little off to me. I'm not going to say it's false. That part alone just kind of seems a little press X to doubt. You said it was self-reported anyways. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but that is the only real qualm I had, is like the self-reported aspect plus three people under the age of 24 having to remortgage
Now
their
it said the
homes.
families.
The
families.
then,
so it could have
and
been.
then that's where the parent thing comes back into place. Like, how are you going to let your kids spend that much money? Like, fuck. But still, it's like, yeah, they just. And can you really like it? And who reported these? Like the people, like these kids themselves. So like, is a 16-year-old telling this study that, hey, my family had to remortgage their home because I spent a fuckload of money on a video game? Or is it the family themselves that's reporting that they had to? So it's like there are some ambiguities there that do kind of they add skepticism.
Yeah,
That's the word, skepticism.
Like I said, 611 in a country whose the demo in the target is 10 million. That's hardly scientific. Hardly.
Right. It's probably the kid reporting. They ended up having to refinance their home because the dad went and bought a fucking Ferrari and told the kid that it was his fault. Remember that $10 you spent on FIFA where we're losing the house, you little fucker?
Yeah.
Little shit.
You little shit. Yeah. So again, I have some issues with the study. I think the methodology to get the quantitative data needs to be a little bit more broad. They need to get more data. Again, I would like to see a study of at least 10,000
with verifiable statistics. Like were these things proven? They said that they had to refinance their home. Did they present a thing that showed how much money was spent on the game? Plus, showing that as well. It's something a little more concrete. Like I still believe that like the margin for error in this thing, even being self-reporting, is probably still a little on the low side. So like we could probably take some of these statistics with a small to moderate margin of error, but at the same time, there are some things in there that do kind of seem a little outlandish.
Yeah, but I do think quite a bit of the I see the validity in the 14% that said they went into debt because of spending. I can see someone
100%.
with a credit card,
or I mean, fuck, you have like a PayPal linked up to your bank account.
Yeah,
Like that PayPal will go ahead and pull money out. So if you're already negative in your bank account, bam, there's overdraft fees.
Yeah. Right. And yeah, exactly. And I don't know exactly how UK banking works. Like if
It's like
there
Source,
is
the guy that always pays overdraft fees.
Yeah, I've just been the guy that's had his card declined. I don't think I've ever had to pay an overdraft fee, thankfully.
Yeah, I had a few things. I had a few bills that were set up through the routing number instead of the debit card that would go through it. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot that was supposed to come out.
I get overdraft fees all the time because of PayPal.
They'll come out like days later. Like
Yeah.
and you'll be like, oh shit, I forgot to or you have it set up like for an auto deal like Adobe Creative Suites or something. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
Like,
it's that time
It's
already.
mainly Twitch. It's mainly subs.
Yep,
To
I've
be
had that
perfectly
happen
honest,
too.
they charge me $32 every time. And then like
Did you say 32?
$32 every time. So like let's say I have 3 subs that overdrafted my account, $32 pop.
Woo.
So I try to get them overturned, and last time lady was really nice and she overturned it. I'm like, I'm losing my job next week. Please be so kind.
Please be merciful.
I always every month I go and review my Twitch subs.
Yeah, everything has a schedule on now.
Yeah,
so.
sometimes you guys don't always make the cut.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Dude, there was one month where, back last year, one month I had to cancel every single sub I had. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, who am I? I had to be real selective about, all right, who's getting my Prime Gaming sub this month?
Yeah. So, kind of going back to the study here, I can believe the 9% said they borrowed money they couldn't repay. Right. That's 9%. That's easily, that again, margin of error. That's 1 in 10. The 14%. I'm sorry, not that one. I could see the 11% of people said that they spent daily. That's again within margin of error, 1 in 10 people.
These are like realistic numbers, like too.
Yeah.
These are things that just sound plausible.
Yeah, these don't like scream, right? Because if you think about the amount of people, if we go to this and expand this out to regular gambling, how many people go gambling, once a month? Right? I mean, if you live near a casino, plausible. You go down to the casino, have a drink, spend $20 at the tables or at the slots, then you leave.
Dude. I live in a town with a casino. I've seen it, dude. I've seen people lose entire businesses in this place.
I spend my $20 at the Waffle House.
Oh, genius though. Like those big thonk moves.
Yeah. So there was nothing here when you're right, like the three self-reported, we had, the 3 self-reported, had to refinance your homes out of 611 respondents. Seems a little far-fetched, a little bit. I will concede that point, but the rest of these numbers are looking believable, right? They don't seem, outlandish at all. Again, I want to see a larger study, at least 10,000, at least. And I would like to see something other than just, we promoted it through social media platforms. Something more, what's the word I'm looking for? More available, more pushed, more aggressive in getting its results.
So aggressive.
Yeah. Because, if a study like this was conducted in the United States and I was a senator and they wanted me to pass some sort of legislation based on this information, I'd be, no? Like, I'm sorry, there's a lot here that, like, there's a lot of kids in the United States. Let's, maybe research more into this. So yeah. That's my thought on it. Do you guys have anything else on this?
No.
No?
No, I'm good.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It'll be interesting if they do, broaden this, this research up.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, it's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see if they do. I want to see them do a study similar to this in America too, where it feels like for some reason it just feels like, and this may be completely unfounded, but it feels like this may be a lot more problematic in America. I don't know why. There's just something that feels like it would be. There's just something about America that screams this would probably be a problem here.
Right. I don't know what that would be, but I can kind of see where you're coming from. Um, I would like to see like if there are any big major differences, especially because I don't know how. I mean, how popular FIFA is huge in the UK.
Mhm.
I wonder how that would change between the games here and the games there. Also, I apologize for my train.
Choo, motherfucker. Choo
Choo
choo.
choo. Yeah, it's uh okay. So next, let's talk some potential Windows 10 changes.
Riveting stuff.
Riveting stuff.
Absolutely insane. Mind-boggling. I have never been more excited.
All right. So we'll cover this and then we'll go into our break here. But a lot of rumors right now swirling around about possible changes and a possible refresh. The code name, the secret code name is called
Kids Next Door.
Sun Valley. Operation Sun Valley.
That sounds like a battle in California.
It sounds like some sort of failed Cold War operation. Like Bay of Pigs 2.0, Sun Valley.
There's a suburb in Phoenix called Sun City that is just all old people.
Bro, I have a laundromat in McAllister called Sun City.
It's
It also has tanning booths in it.
it's like the old people section. There's like a golf course on every other block.
You should
Windows 10 going to
know.
kill the elderly confirmed. Disclaimer not confirmed.
You should petition Sun City to change their name to Sunset City, just because of how old the population is. So
Get it because they're gonna die, Green. You get it? You can
get
chuckle.
it?
It's
I
fine.
get it. It's
You
funny.
get it?
I get it.
God damn it. So God damn it. This is reported on by I'm gonna apologize for fucking up this name. Mayonik Parmer. He's a reporter at Windows Latest. He found a job posting that offered a senior software engineer's position, and said the engineers would have the opportunity to, quote, deliver a sweeping visual rejuvenation of the Windows experience to signal that Windows is back. So this is where all these rumors are stemming from. Interestingly enough, Microsoft changed the verbiage of the listing after the report came out to be something more subtle and subdued, like build a delightful, polished experience for Windows. I also just have a note here that I want to mention is Windows didn't fucking go anywhere. So how could it be back?
Windows reunion tour 2021.
It's like Kiss. You never went anywhere. It's not a farewell. You never left or it's not a reunion tour, Kiss. You never left in the first place. Fucking Kiss.
Army since 1987.
I really hope I pissed someone off with that.
To be fair, I love Kiss, but no lies detected.
Kiss just pisses me off because they're not that great.
Oh no, they are super okay.
yeah. It's just like it's all merchandise. Okay. I can respect the capitalist hustle, but
I actually did like their Psycho Circus comics, though. I have the whole collection up here. They were actually pretty, but that was Todd McFarlane's doing, not
You
Kiss's.
telling me you can't jam to some Detroit Rock City?
It's a good song. I do like that song.
It's okay.
I like how they okay, here's to Danny's point. Here's how okay Kiss is. They're okay enough to release Rock and Roll All Night, but they're bad enough to where they had to record it in studio, but it sounded so bad that they put a live audience track over it because of the fact that it didn't sound like it was recorded in the studio. The whole cheering and shit you hear, that none of that was even real. That was all phoned in because it was recorded in studio, but it was like it sounded live. So they were like, "Oh shit! I mean, I guess if it's gonna sound live, we might as well at least shitify this thing a little bit." But you know, is what it is.
Yeah. Sorry to sidetrack us on Kiss. This Windows 10 update or potential updates looking like it's gonna be mostly UI. So nothing too exciting. I don't expect to see any like major performance hits or anything like that. It's gonna be UI. I did see a couple other things kind of related to Windows. They're going to be combining the calendar and the Outlook in the email app for Outlook together, which is nice. I might actually fucking use the Outlook app at work now. Probably not, because I just prefer to open up the fucking browser. And then also, apparently, there's still a bunch of people using Windows 7, despite it's been over a year since support ended for it.
Huh.
Yeah. Mostly, it seems like it's enterprise machines that are still running it. The vast majority of Windows 7 machines are probably still enterprise machines. Which is not surprising at all, because I can tell you, as some, anyone who's worked in a office building, there's a lot of computers. Sometimes there are more computers than there are people. Schools, universities, they have a ton of like computers that would need to be updated. So it just makes sense that a bunch of like the older machines, or the machines that you can't really take down, right? Like at my job, we have some machines that they literally run the radio station. So you can't, you have to schedule time for it to be off air or something like that, right? So there's like machines that are, there are computers that are running, manufacturing machines or security systems that you just can't take off conveniently. And then it's also expensive as hell to like replace that. So yeah, still like, I think that I saw like something like, I gotta double check it here. Did I post it in our group chat? I think I might have, because I want to know the stat.
Maybe.
Now. I think I missed it. I saw it somewhere.
It was a place.
It was a place. Well, yeah, it's surprising how many more machines are running Windows 7 still. So yeah, that's the Windows 10 changes that might potentially possibly be coming. Again, rumors. They're just rumors. Anything else that we want to talk about on that? Green, anything you want to add?
No. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
With this update, are they going to drop the price down, to not $130+?
One would hope.
Because like, building PCs, I've like heard so many people like, yeah, I got my Windows key through Best Buy. So I'm like, oh my god. How, like, I would rather, I'm literally sitting here with Activate Windows on my screen, just over spending $130 on like a Windows key. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey.
I'd rather run Linux.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things, a little peek behind the window. I've been really interested in checking out like the Raspberry Pi stuff and like also some of the Linux stuff. And I would love to find someone who wants to come on the show and make a case for Linux and Raspberry Pi. I've sent emails out and I've just gotten like, hey, I don't think it's gonna work out. I'm sorry, not interested kind of stuff. And yeah, so if you're listening to this and you want to make a case for gaming on Linux, or want to come on and talk about Raspberry Pi and Linux and all that great shit, hit
No
me
balls.
up.
You won't do it.
Yeah, my DMs are open at Danny K, DANIECAE. Let's go, Danny K. Okay, well, let's go on ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there.
Shakes of a lamb's tail. Are you a coffee lover? Do you need a little pep in your step in the morning? What about knowing where your
Go get
coffee
some
comes
water, I
from?
think,
Is
and
that important? I just came
Well,
up
try
with the
Grampian
perfect idea
Roasted
for a new
Coffee
kit
on
theme, though.
Etsy. That's
Oh.
Grampian, Grampian,
I'm gonna make it 4 of them. I'm not
and
doing
see
it
our
for Twitch,
selection
I'm
of
just putting them
single
in my Discord.
origin
I'm gonna do
and
4 of them.
blended
It's gonna be all
coffees.
4
Use code
Mike
REVSPIN,
Tyson wearing a different
REVSBEN at
Kisses
checkout
face
to save
paint.
15% off of your purchase.
I'm gonna get some.
It's too small to save. It's Mike Tyson's face. Hey, Volker.
Oh, we are not muted.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
And we're back. And properly unmuted this time, and nothing's broken.
Nothing's broken.
Everything's
Nothing's broken.
fine. We're all fine.
I swear I'm a professional.
Professional.
You guys ready for this next conversation?
Ready for your
Let's
TED Talk?
do it.
It's gonna be so fucking fun, guys. This is
Oh.
so sexy. It's just what we all wanted to hear, right? A fucking price hike.
Yay!
Yay! We love it when things get more expensive. So of course, computer parts right now is a very sensitive market. It's been affected by COVID and part shortages because of COVID. It's made getting hardware difficult for customers, especially on certain parts like GPUs and CPUs, to update their rigs. And we've been talking a lot about that recently, but also there's just been like this thing that's been looming over customers and manufacturers. We've talked about it on the show before, but that's the Trump tariffs. Right? We talked about how this would probably start affecting hardware prices on things like graphics cards, motherboards, other PC parts. It would affect consoles, right? Because a lot of the consoles are manufactured in East Asia, or specifically China, especially like a lot of the smaller parts that are used in the production of pieces are manufactured in China. And they would be affected by the Trump tariffs that he instituted in 2018. Juan Jose Guerrero told the Swedish outlet Swelockers this. We have an announcement in regards to the MSRP price changes that are effective in early 2021. For our award-winning series of graphics cards and motherboards, our new MSRP reflects increases in costs for components, operation costs, and logistical activities, plus a continuation of import tariffs. We've worked closely with our supply and logistics partners to minimize price increases. ASUS greatly appreciates your continued business and support as we navigate through this time of unprecedented market change. So there it is. ASUS is directly contributing a portion of their price hikes to Trump tariffs, specifically for the United States. And of course, there's other parts of that where right, it might not be the tariff itself is increasing the price, but in order to avoid the tariff, right? They have to build a new facility outside of China. They have to source parts that might be more expensive to avoid, that might be like a little bit more expensive, but that price still has to get passed down to the customers, so on and so on. But yeah, that's that. Also, I got so fucking close to being able to buy a 3070 today. I saw it was updated on the Best Buy page, and I got to it before it just told me it was sold out. And I hit the button, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and then it said sold out. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, bots are still buying that shit up quick.
I know.
And then you got companies like Newegg, they're like, "Oh, we don't have any bot problems." Like, fuck off if you aren't.
Yeah, where's your stock then? Yeah, why is it your stock still sells out like almost immediately? I actually did see someone post today, and I like this idea. They need to institute a waiting list. Some of these retailers need to just like create a waiting list and be like, all right, like it's one per customer. Here's your chance to buy it. If you can get, we can take 100 customers at this time, and put some real serious effort into blocking bots out from buying it, because it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, it's insane to see just how fed the scalpers are now. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then people giving in to the scalpers too by buying these pieces at like an insane markup. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, it can wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see kind of where a lot of these prices are going to go up. ASUS is a Taiwanese company. I don't know where they get all of their manufacturing sourcing. So I'm curious to see exactly how much this price hike is going to be. MSI itself, I think, is MSI Taiwanese as well? Or are they Chinese? I know they have facilities in China. I want to say they're Taiwanese, but I'm not. Let me double check.
Taiwanese, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think it was Taiwanese. Yeah.
Yeah, they're headquartered in New Taipei City.
Yeah. But they have facilities in China, so that I know they're going to get affected by it too. They're probably going to follow suit with price hikes. I saw I was looking specifically for the MSI 3070, like the 3XCs or something like that. Whatever the fucking MSI version of the 3070 is. And there were some scalpers who had it up on Amazon for like $900. The card goes for like just under $6. It's fucking ridiculous. Horrible.
You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, shame on you guys. Shame on you fucking scalpers.
Fucking.
I did see. Did you guys see the guy who built it's like $100,000 crypto mining machine, and he's like, yeah, I can get $124,000 out of this machine in a year. Like, that's kind of it's like a pretty meh return on your investment, isn't it? I'm like, how much you spent $100,000 on the machine, and how much are you fucking paying in electricity bills to run all those fucking cards?
No shit.
Like, if that,
it's like, I don't know if people understand this, but like data, like the data miners for Bitcoin, their machines, all they're doing is like double checking purchases with Bitcoin. They're not actually like they're getting paid in Bitcoin to do like these run these AIs that like check each like transaction with Bitcoin. So it's like they're not like when I first heard of bit mining, I'm like, oh, so we just get bitcoins out of fucking thin air for nothing. And it's I don't know. Sorry, that was a side tangent.
it's all good.
No, I mean, that's interesting information to have. I had no idea what it actually, like, where the money came from. So
Yeah, they're just verifying transactions, so people don't double dip with the same Bitcoin.
See, I know it's been told that Bitcoin mining was mostly like letting your machine constantly run to do like super hard math problems. Was
Essentially,
essentially what
yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah. So yeah, PC market still sucks right now. Yay!
Absolutely.
And it's gonna get more
Shocker.
expensive. Yay! Fucking kill me. They still have
think
just
you're-
parts sitting here.
I think you're almost done, aren't you?
CPU. If I didn't get that GPU today, I'm getting my CPU this week. I'm ordering my CPU, and then it's just my GPU.
I should try a Newegg's quad pay. You can split it up to 4 different payments, 4 payments. With like they're like 2-week increments.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did
That's not a bad idea.
with my capture card.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might do that. I was helping a coworker's boyfriend. He just bought a pre-built which had the 3070 in it. And he's just like, hey, like I just need to make sure like everything's connected properly. I'm like, it's a pre-build, it should be, but I guess just bring it into the office tomorrow. I'll take a look at it. Everything was fine, but I'm like, so just gonna go on ahead and take this graphics
Swap
card.
these bad
Just
boys
gonna
out.
what I should have done was like, oh no, this graphics card's no good. I gotta take it out.
I'll get. You know what? I'll tell you what. I will give you mine.
I'll
Out
give
of
you
the
mine.
graciousness of my own heart.
Oh no. It doesn't work.
I'm like, I'm just helping you out, bud.
Yeah. He did pay me with a bottle of bourbon.
Oh.
He's like,
Next best thing.
yeah, literally. And Ginger, if you're watching this, dude, you offered to compensate me, so you have me basically time and any time of day you want me right now, until I decide that $30 bottle of bourbon is used up. But I looked at it, I'm like, oh, everything's plugged in. Let me just double check, make sure everything is seated. All right, let's plug it in, turn it on. It posts. Cool. It's good to go. Enjoy. I really did nothing. I literally looked at it. I'm like, it's good. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Do we want to move on?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty concise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ongoing problems.
Ongoing problems.
So if you're looking to build a PC soon,
Don't.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's talk about some deals of the month. These are the games that you guys can get right now for free, or if they're with Humble Bundle, really fucking cheap. I'll start with Epic. Jurassic World. That's going to be available until January 7th. You guys got 2 more days from when this episode is, from when I'm saying this, to get that. Crying Sons, starting January 7th until January 14th. You guys can pick that up for free. Twitch Prime Gaming. Bridge Constructor. Available until February 1st. Sword Legacy Omen. Available until January 29th. Alt Frequencies. Available until February 1st. Sheltered until January 15th. Along the Edge until February 1st. When Ski Lifts Go Wrong. February 1st. And Void Bastards until February 1st.
Quick interjection on Along the Edge. That's the 3rd game by NovaBox, the company that did Across the Grooves and Sears Isle that I've covered on the show.
Oh.
It's their the first game they did, the only one I haven't played yet.
Oh. You should pick that up. Play it on stream. And then come back here and tell us about it.
I should. I mean, I already have it, but you should pick it up.
I did pick it up. I claimed everything.
I'm literally talking to anybody within an earshot right now. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Do it.
Void Bastards looked really interesting.
Void Bastards is good. I like it.
It's kind of a BioShocky, System Shocky, first person shooter, like really bright neon colors.
Mm-hmm.
Looks fun. I'm gonna check that out. I have another one that I picked up from Twitch Prime Gaming last month that I need to try out, but I'm still stuck in Fallout 4 right now, which I've been really enjoying. Like I might have to like review Fallout 4 now. Humble Bundle. Green, did you send me the
Yes, sir.
bundles? Okay.
Yep,
So
in this chat. Yep.
is that the only bundle that's
Yeah, there's like
currently
some
available?
tech ones and stuff.
Okay.
But no game bundles. There's a lot of books, a lot of book bundles and software bundles.
Okay. Which those book and software bundles are pretty decent. I picked
Oh,
up
yeah.
a video one a couple weeks ago. That's been pretty beast. So Humble Bundle. Holiday in Space games. The bundle includes. You only have one more day to get this. If you guys use our link, you can help support the show, specifically Green. You guys can pick up Tacoma, Space Run, Rover Mechanic Simulator, Siege of Centauri, Deep Sky Derelicts, and Avechi Inventor. And Breathage, Moons of Madness, and that all goes to support Stack Up. So pay $14 or more and you get all of those games. Use our link and you help support the show. A portion of that purchase will help support us.
Moons of Madness is good.
What's that?
Moons of Madness is good. Imagine Lovecraft on Mars.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's trippy. It's good.
That sounds trippy and good. All right, let's go to Sony. Green.
All right. Well, for all those lucky PS5 owners that magically got their PS5 somehow miraculously without paying any scalpers on eBay, you getting a bonus game today. So for the standard PlayStation Plus, you get Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Creedfall, and then the bonus is for the PS5 only is the Man Eater game where you play as a shark. So yeah, I mean, Shadow of the Tomb Raider's been around for a while. Greedfall is, I think that came out in 18, right?
Yes.
It feels like it's been out for a while. So I mean, they're pretty good pickups. And then if you want to increase that library size for owning a PS5, if you if you don't want that PS5, your PS5 is broken, you should send it to me. I'll give you my PS4. I just want to play Spider-Man.
Right.
That's the only reason, and I don't want to play it on my Pro. So
yeah. Padre.
That's
Xbox.
me, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does Xbox have coming this month? They actually so they got they got some all right ones coming. For the games with gold, I think this is anticipation for Little Nightmares 2, but Little Nightmares 1 is going to be available on games with gold from the 1st to the 31st. But on the 16th through February 15th, you can actually pick up Dead Rising, the OG one, like the original Dead Rising. King of Fighters 13, which is actually a 360 game, is going to be available on Xbox One from January 1st to the 15th. And then Breakdown, which is like an old school Xbox game, you can pick up from the 16th to the 31st. But we do have a couple of new games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Two of which that stood out to me are Injustice 2, not a bad little fighter game to pick up if you already have Xbox Game Pass, and probably honestly one of the most beautiful storytelling indie games I've ever had the joy of playing. What Remains of Edith Finch. A lot of people have already picked that up somewhere because it's usually involved in like a humble bundle somewhere, or a free here, free there, excruciatingly high sale here and there, whatever. But What Remains of Edith Finch is coming now. I think if I remember correctly, I'm on a different website now, but I think What Remains of Edith Finch actually was already on the Xbox. This one's going to be brought over to PC, and Injustice 2 is actually going to be on. It's going to be on PC, console, and cloud. So I actually am curious to see how Injustice 2 plays on mobile. That I haven't tried out mobile since last time because it left a bad taste in my mouth with how bad it was. I don't know. We'll see. It's still in beta, so hopefully they can get that hammered out. That being said, on January 15th, a few games are leaving. A couple of good games are leaving Game Pass, and this is where some people have problems with Game Pass. That some games go away because it's like Netflix. You are losing Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet, and My Friend Pedro and Tekken 7. Those are some decent titles that are going to be leaving. So if you have Game Pass, you have about 10 days from
Is the
now.
Sword Art Online one good? Or is it like the anime?
I've heard good things. I've heard good things. I've heard good things about the game. Like I've heard people enjoy the game. Um, I haven't played it myself, but my friend Pedro and Tekken 7 both are decent games. And Faster Than Light was okay. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but those will be leaving on the 15th. So get your fill while you can.
All right. Are there any other deals? Anything outside of our usual like haunts with that? Anything you guys wanted to mention, talk about?
Today is the last day of the Steam Winter Sale. So if you're listening to this live, you have an opportunity to go jump in on that because there's some fat discounts. I'm pretty sure that's why my stimulus check hadn't come in because they don't want me spending all my money on that. But I picked up a lot of good games, which we talked about last week, and there are a ton more that I would have liked to have picked up. So if you're listening to this live, or if you're catching this before midnight on January 5th going into the 6th, go check out that Steam Winter Sale before it's too late.
Yeah, Gabe Newell doesn't need another yacht, Rev. I don't even know if he has a yacht.
I would do it. I would buy him another yacht.
I don't know. I don't know if Gaben doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would buy a yacht. Like,
Blessings be unto thee from our Lord Gaben.
from our Lord Gaben. Okay, so anything else that we wanted to mention, talk about for the show? Kind of a shorter one, which I'm sure no one minds. Nice and condensed.
No, because I'm going to be talking y'all's ears off about Broken Age next week. So next week liable to change that.
Yeah. Oh, I have something I'm going to talk about next week, which is going to be real interesting. We'll just say that it's going to be real fucking interesting. All right, well, let's wrap up.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, let's wrap up the show then. Green, what's coming up on your channel?
Well, I'm gonna try to squeeze in some Apex sometime this week. I tried playing on Facebook or streaming on Facebook, and that's been kind of weird for me. So, I don't know how long I'll be continuing that, or I'm working on some kinks. So, but you can catch me at twitch.tv/Mr. Greenelite. Facebook is Mr. Green Elite. Everything is Mr. Green Elite except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Green Elite. I also have an OnlyFans. It's true. I haven't posted on it, but it's there.
Padre, what's coming up on your channel?
Well, I'm going to be finishing Broken Age over the next few days. I stream a lot of mornings, 9 a.m. Central Time. I'm a professional. I got everything mapped out for like the next 14 games plus YouTube content exclusive to YouTube, which you can find me youtube.com/RevSpin. But yeah, I'm going to be finishing up Broken Age soon. Should be able to discuss that on next week's show. And then I'm going to go straight into Jazz Punk. These are going to be my morning streams, which are every day, but Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Central. But tomorrow's my birthday. And so for my birthday, I'm going to be playing. I'm going to get drunk and play some Phasmophobia. I'll probably play some Smite just because big fan of it. Hopefully I can get some people together to play some Apex, the fight night deal with some actual teammates instead of fucking just randos. But that's pretty much going to be what's coming to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more TikTok lives. I've been doing a lot lately, but I want to do some that are like actually more content driven as opposed to being live for the sake of being live, because that's kind of what I've been doing on TikTok. I want to have like more content driven stuff, which you can find me literally on any other social media platform at RevSpin TV. Like I said, there was like a Swedish priest that caught I think it was Twitter's RevSpin, and I was like, motherfucker. So I just made all of the rest of them match. But yeah, so, but like I said, YouTube content coming. We're going to be doing Granny Simulator. There is no game in The Last of Waifus. Yeah, it's The Last of Us, but with big titty waifus. And that's actually going to be me, Pinata, and our buddy Chocolad. We're all going to be doing like commentary over those games for YouTube. It'll be a lot of fun. Aside from that, we'll just kind of see what happens. I'm probably going to break this huge list whenever Little Nightmares 2 drops. I don't know when it's going to fit in here, so I just didn't include it. But when that game drops, I'm playing it day one.
Dope. Coming up on my channel tomorrow night, we're playing Among Us. with Grain Elite, Biggs, Quan, and McGrayla. Good old WLG night, White Lotus Gaming. We are progressing on White Lotus Gaming stuff with we have some video elements and stuff put together, which is really dope. I'm looking forward to putting out some of that stuff, so be on the lookout for that. In terms of my channel itself, I have a few things that I'm going to work on for YouTube, and also planning on some other things for stream, just like some games I have in the wings. So yeah, other than that, you guys can find me on Instagram at DANIECAE. You can also find me on Twitter, and also subscribe to me on YouTube. It's also where this podcast gets posted. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe there. I apparently fucking stroked out right there. I'm sorry. Other than that, guys, that's gonna do it. We appreciate all of you guys for watching and listening. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this tonight. If you guys missed any part of the show, find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. Leave a comment and a like on YouTube. If you guys want to help support the show, don't forget the question of the week. That is, what are some of your gaming resolutions? Leave that in the comments, or you guys can tweet at us. And the best way, if you guys want to help support us, the number one best way to do that is by telling your friends. I want to make the show blow up this year. We have some goals. Tell your friends, help us out. That's the 100% top tier way to do that. And if your friends come by and they say, "Hey, my guy sent me," I will think about you in the bathtub. I will think about you in the bathtub. Other than that, guys, I think we're good. Have a fantastic week. Keep fighting the good fight. Stay safe. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Kisses.
Love you.
Mwah.